Alright class, let's start with how to import the file from Illustrator to Cinema 4D. Okay, so now you go to File and then open the project. Okay, so this is the files from AI. Make sure that connect splines and group splines is unchecked. Okay, and then you press OK and you can see the words hot suite now is in your 3D space. So first thing first, what you need to do is to click on this hot suite and then go to the coordinates, and I want you to change this coordinates to 0, 0 and 0, and now you can see that this words is in the 0, 0 pivot point. Okay, right. So if you expand this hot suite, you can see there are two more groups. Okay, so expand one by one because you need to identify each of these layers is belong to which objects for this 3D text. So if I click on path 12, you can see that this is the background for the hot. Okay, so you click and then hold your mouse and you can see this arrow. Okay, when you see the arrow showing to the left, you can release your mouse, and now this is independent. Okay, it is not anymore under group 10 as a chart, so this is a parent and it is independent. Okay, so you double click and then you can name it as BG for background and then hot. And path 13 is belong to the background for words suite. So you click and then drag and release and change this to background suite. Right, and then after that you expand group 1 and group 10. Now it's empty. You can press the delete on the keyboard. Okay, so for group 1, if you click group 2, you can see that this is for the alphabet H. Okay, and then you press the shift keyboard so that you can select together group 2, group 3 and group 4, because all of this is H, O and T. So you right click and then you go to connect objects and delete. Okay, and you can see that now it's all together. So you click and then drag, release it when you see the arrow to the left. Okay, and rename this as word hot. Then group 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 is belong to the word suite. So right click, connect objects and delete, click and drag and release it, rename to the word suite. Okay, so now hot suite is empty and we can press the delete on your keyboard. Okay, once we have identified each of these words and make it independent, now we need to extrude. Okay, so how to extrude? You go to this icon, press longer, and you will see inside this tool there is an extrude. So click on the extrude. Okay, so let's do one by one. So first I want to start with the word hot and the background. Okay, so let's start with the background first. So this is the background hot, so you need to click. Okay, hold your mouse and then when you move it up to the extrude, you can see the arrow now is looking down. So this is mean that you want to make background hot to be as a child under extrude. So when you see the arrow going down, so you can release your mouse and now you will see that background hot is a child for extrude. Okay, and if you see this icon, this is how to navigate. Okay, you click and hold so that you can see how does the background hot now is being extrude. Okay, right, and then now you click on the word extrude and then you go to the objects, okay, and this is the offset. So I want you to click and drag to the left. Okay, I think 6 centimeter is enough. Okay, about 6 centimeter. So now you can see, okay, this is how to pan, to navigate, how to navigate in the 3D space. Okay, this one is to orbit, and you can see that for the background hot, you have extrude. Okay, right, and then the second one is let's extrude the word hot. Okay, and I want this hot to be under the same parent with this extrude background hot. But when you want to extrude in Cinema 4D, you have to do it one by one. You cannot have one extrude with two objects. Okay, so what we're going to do now is to create the extrude first. Okay, so this is the extrude. So what you need to do is you have to click and drag this extrude so that it will be as okay, because I want this to be under the background hot. Okay, and then you will bring the word hot as child for the extrude one. Okay, and then same as what you do in the extrude, you click extrude dot one, and then you go to the object and make this into maybe around 1. Okay, all right, so now you can see that from this hierarchical, so the first extrude is doing the function to the background hot. Okay, and then under the background hot, we have one more extrude, and this extrude is working on the words hot. Okay, so now if I close this extrude, so you can name this as hot, right? And now let's do the second one for background sweet and for the word sweet. Okay, right, we can just duplicate this one. So if you hold the control on your keyboard, so you can click on the word on the extrude hot, click, and then release your mouse, and you have this hot one. So you can double click and name it as sweet. Okay, and when you open this, you can delete the background hot. Okay, so before you delete, just bring this background sweet to be child for sweet, and we can delete this one. Right, because when I delete, okay, I cannot bring down the background sweet to make it extrude, so that's fine, but this is the correct one. Okay, sweet for the background sweet, and then we need to bring this word sweet and make it one more extrude. Okay, so just click again on these two, click longer, and then press extrude. So just bring this extrude to be child for background sweet, and then you can bring the word sweet for this extrude. Okay, and again you click on the word extrude and just change this to 1 centimeter. Right, so now you have 2 layers, so one for hot and one for the sweet. Okay, right, one more thing that we need to add is the edge. Okay, because in a realistic object, we do not have like these very sharp objects. Okay, so we need to have like an edge so that when you put the lights, it will look more realistic. So how to add the edges? So you expand the word hot, okay, and then you click on this extrude, you go to the caps, okay, and change this from round to curve. And before we, if you change this size number, let's say 0.5, okay, so you can change this view, okay, from garage shading to garage shading line, so it will be easier for you to see the edge. Okay, so 0.06 is too small. Let's increase this number, okay, maybe about let's see, 1 centimeter, right? And then for these edges, I want you to segment, I want you to change to number 2. All right. Okay, so actually what we have done is on the words hot. Okay, right, so 1 centimeter, this is too big. Okay, you can see what's the results in here. All right, so now you decrease this number. Okay, right, so now you can see that we have the edges with 2 segments. Okay, because the less value segment that you have, it will be much faster for you to render this 3D animation. So this is with 3 segments. Okay, so if I reduce this to 2, you can see that the number changed to 2 segments. Okay, so I want you to do the same for this is what we done on the words on the background for hot. So do the same for the word hot. Okay, go to curve, and then let's see what are the value that we have changed. It's 0.07. So we can have the same one, or we can have something lesser or higher than this amount. This is up on your creativity. Okay, right, so and I want this to have 2 segments only, and this is 0.04. Okay, so let's do the same for the word sweet. Right, so expand your sweet, click on the extrude, go to the curve, okay, and this is 0.07 with 2 segment. Okay, and then for the word extrude, go to curve, and this is 0.04 with 2 segment. Okay, right, so now we are done with extruding and creating the edge for this 3D logo. Alright, let's continue from where we have stopped, which is how to extrude the word. And in this part, we gonna add the light. Okay, so how to add the light? You can see that here in this toolbar, okay, there is the icon for light. So you click longer, and then you can choose light. Okay, so this is the light, and when you click on the light and you scroll down, and you can see that the type is omni. So I want you to change this from omni to area. Okay, and when you change to area, you can see that it will change to these rectangular shapes. Okay, right, and then I want you to like make it this maybe a little bit smaller. Okay, and if you navigate, you can see that this light is at the center. Okay, so use the move tool, and one more thing that you can see that this is icon to split the view into 4 viewports. So you can click here, and you can have this 4 viewport, and this is the perspective, right, front and top. Okay, so from here, okay, let's say on the top viewport, you can move from this arrow. Okay, so you click and then make these downwards. Okay, so that it doesn't like um, having on the same location for your text. Okay, so this is the front and this is the right side. And remember that because this is a 3D space, so that's why if you split this into 4 viewport, it will be easier for you to look at each of these dimension. Okay, right. So now your area light is facing the front, and because of that only the front side is having a bright area. Okay, so what I want you to do is to have like two area, left and right. So what we're going to do now, here on the top viewport, move this to the right, and then you use the move tool. Okay, make it this a little bit slanted. You can, okay, if you think that it's difficult to move from the top, you can also move from the perspective, because I want this to be like a little bit slanted. Okay, and it's facing the width, right? Okay, and then after that, from the objects, if you hold the control on keyboard, you can click and then drop it so that you can duplicate one more light. So now you have two light. So from here, if you move this one, you have one more light, but this is facing the same direction. So let's use the rotate. Okay, and I want you to rotate these to the opposite side. Okay, right, and then after that, move again to a correct direction. Right, so now if you navigate from here, you can see that two of this area, okay, two of this area light is highlighting your text. Okay, and I noticed that there is no light on the top of this font, so you can go back to this rotate tool. Okay, and then from this line, red line, you can make this to look down. Okay, so that you got some area on the top. Right, let's see. Okay, so you can pre-render from here if you click this one. Okay, so this is how your 3D text look like when you have the light. Okay, right. Okay, so next, how to add a material for this 3D text. So how to add materials, from here you can see this icon. When you click this one, you can see the panel to create a new material. Alright, so you click in this class and you have one new material. Okay, so if you click in here, you can see that under the attributes you have this material. Okay, so let's say I want to have two colors, one for the words and one for the backgrounds. Okay, right. So tap on the color, and this is for RGB. Okay, because for a screen. So for a color, make sure that you find it from the Adobe color wheel. Okay, so this is Adobe color wheel. So go to explore, and then from here you can just type the word candies, and you can find the colors that you can use for the 3D text logo. Okay, so let's say that the colors that I want to use is this one. Okay, and we need to choose two colors that has contrast. So let's say I want to choose the pink and the blue. Okay, if I go in here, okay, if you click in this color mode code, you can see that the RGB is 22321091151. So we have to input this number inside the color. So 232, okay, 232 109 and 151. Right, so this is a pink color. Because our logo is based on candy, so we can add types of reflection that similar to plastic, so that you can have a glossiness when you render using this kind of material. Okay, so you tap on the reflectance, you will see this default specular. I want you to remove it because we need to add a new types of reflectance. Okay, you click on add, and then you choose GGX. If you scroll down until layer Fresnel, so from none you choose as dielectric. Okay, so now you are having the a plastic mode style for this color. So if you click on this pink color, okay, let's say this one I want it to be for the words hot and sweet. Okay, so if I put this under the words, okay, the first one for this words, okay, hot, and then one more for the word sweet. Okay, right, so now let's change the display to correct shading, and you can see the glossy types on these words. And if you press the render, okay, so you can see how does it reflect on the words. Right, so now let's do on the second one, which is the background color. So again, you can press the control, okay, press control on your keyboard, click on this material, and then release, and you have the second one. Okay, so let's say you can name this as pink and this one as blue. Right, so for the blue color, you go to the blue, you go to the color, and then you can change it to this color, 125 198 and 255. Right, and then you can drop this to hot, and one more is under sweet, and you can see the effect now on the background. Okay, so if we pre-render this, you can see now how does it look like from the render view. Okay, let's continue from here. So this is the last part, and how to animate the text. Okay, so first, before we animate, I want to add one camera in the viewport. Okay, so before we add the camera, I want you to position your word first. Okay, let's say I want the view to be something like this one. Okay, and then you go to the camera and add camera. So now you can see that the camera is inside the viewport. Okay, so you can adjust the camera if it is needed, so it's up to you. Right, and then after that, to animate this text, okay, we need to go to the more graph and then add the fracture. Okay, so when you see this fracture, okay, what you should do is to I have done this for the word hot. Okay, and this is the same things that we should do for the word sweet. So what you need to do is just click on the fracture and then put the fracture under sweet. So what you will get is pretty sweet should be under fracture. So this is the hierarchy. Okay, you get the sweet and then fracture and then the background sweet. So it's same for the hot. Alright, then after that you go to the more graph and then go to the effector and choose plane. Rename the plane to the first word, which is hot, and then click the hot and then bring it down. Okay, so from this plane you go to the okay, click on hot and then you go to the effector. Okay, sorry, you click on the fracture. Okay, click on the fracture and then you tap on the effector and you need to add hot inside effector. Okay, and you will notice that the hot is now disappear from your viewport. It is not disappear actually, it is on the top. Right, so what we need to do is you go to the coordinate. Okay, you click on the hot and then in the coordinate, so let's say if I go to the Z, okay, so change this number to -100, so it will be on your camera. Okay, but then let's say I want to move from the Z, right, or maybe we can move from the X. So it depends on where your camera is facing. Okay, so right, so this is hot, remember. Okay, we have to click on the fracture and if you see that this is the keyframe, so let's say on the first keyframe we're gonna set the X value is out from the camera view. Okay, and then when you click the keyframe and bring it to the 30-second, and now you will make this back to the place which is supposed to be 0. Okay, and then click again on the keyframe. So if you move this timeline, okay, sorry, I forgot to click keyframe when I move this outside from the viewport. So click again on the 0 frame and make this outside. Okay, so now you have to keyframe and you can see that now it's moving from one position to the next position. So let's do on the second one, which is the word hot. So again, go to the new graph, effector, and then plane. Bring this down, name it as sweep. Okay, click on the fracture. Okay, and then effector, bring the sweep inside the effector, and then go to the coordinate. Okay, so the word is now on the top. We should bring this down. Okay, so this is supposed to be negative 100. Okay, right, and then we will add the next keyframe. Let's say it start on 35. Okay, so X, let's say this is out from the camera, and then we click on the keyframe and until 60, and this will goes back to this place, and it should be 0. Okay, and click again on the keyframe. So now if we play, right, so that is how to create the animation in Cinema 4D. Okay, so the last steps when we are done with the animation. Okay, you can see that now if I move my keyframe from 0 frame, you will not see anything. Okay, but then we have animate one by one. First the word hot, and then when it goes to the next frame, you can see the word sweet. Okay, then when you are done, you just press the you just save the file. Okay, after that you open the After Effects. Okay, just create with a new files, and then make sure that you create a new composition. Okay, just go to the new composition and make sure that this is 1920 by 180. Yeah, set everything and then press OK. Right, and now remember where you have saved the file. So this is my file where I save it, and I name it as hot suite animating. So you just need to click and drag the file into your project panel. Okay, and then bring it to the timeline, and if you render, then you can see your 3D text from the Cinema 4D. Okay, so one thing, when you are done with everything, make sure that when you want to render, you should change this from viewport draft to current. Okay, so that's all on how to create 3D text from Illustrator to Cinema 4D and then in the After Effects.